Hey, different video. Okay, so new video on 4.12, continuing our roll discussion. Now, instead of putting a little Z on every single 16th note, a true roll is written like what you start seeing in this little blue box here on page 28A. Look at 28A. You see 1E into 2 written as 16ths, 1E into 2. Then you see a quarter note with the Z on it tied to another quarter note. That's not 3. That's 3 into 4. So 1E into 2, 3 into 4. That's what that means. That's a quarter note roll. Sometimes called a 9. Well, that's not a 9-stroke because you're doing a multiple bounce. But that's a quarter note roll. It lasts the entire length of the quarter note. 1E into 2. Or 3 into 4. In the next line, line B, you have a half note roll. So how do you count a half note in 16ths? 1E into 2E into 3. So 1E into 2E into 3. 1E into 2E into 2E into 3. All right? That's all it is to it. I mean, that's not an issue. Now, eventually, you're going to start seeing rolls. I got to show you that real quick here. Read some of this. Okay. You will see rolls written like this. Okay. With 3 individual slashes. That is what we call a metered roll or a measured roll. A quarter note written like that would be a 9-stroke roll. You would be trying to get only 2 bounces per stick. Now, that's not a hard and fast rule. I mean, it would depend on the tempo of the piece. It would depend on the composer. It would depend on what style of music you were playing. But that's the difference between that and this, which is what we're doing right now. You get that kind of Z thing on it. This is a multiple bounce. You're just trying to get the stick to bounce as many times as you can every time you touch the pad, as opposed to this one where you would only want to bounce twice. Da-da. So if you goof around and you see these different notations, that's the difference. But it's both 1E into 2, 1E into 2. When you see a roll, we're going to count them as 16th notes, okay? So you've got to keep that 16th note pulse going, or you don't know where the roll is. You don't know where the roll begins or ends. You just roll, you get way off beat. And a lot of drummers are guilty of that. And a lot of guys see rolls and they totally crash and burn because they suddenly lose what the beat of the song is. And well, if you can't keep a beat, what good are you as a drummer? So here we go. Let's do this little A line. All right. Let's count it first. Counting, you would count this line like this: 1E into 2, 3E into 4, 1, 2E into 3, 4E into 1. All right, so we play it. Ready and go. 1E into 2, 3E into 4, 1, 2E into 3, 4E into 1. And that little tie brings you to the last note, 3 into 1. Connects it across the bar to the last hit. Line B, count it, ready and go. 1E into 2E into 3 and 4 and 1E into 2E into 3 and 4 and 1. First, second measures are exactly the same, just looks different. Ready and go. 1E into 2E into 3 and 4 and 1E into 2E into 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so with that in mind, we are moving on in the piece. All right, in the book, 412. 3/4 time, mezzo moderato, mezzo piano, 1, 2, and 3, and ready and go. 1, 2E into 3, 1, 2E into 3, 1, 2E into 3, 1E into 2, 3, 1, 2E into 3, 1, 2E into 3, 1E into 2, and 3, and 1, 2. And it repeats. So you have both, they wrote it both ways in this. But remember, when you see a quarter note with the roll mark on it, you count it as 16ths. All right, here we go. Ready, go. 1, 2E into 3, 1, 2E into 3, 1, 2E into 3, 1E into 2, 3, 1, 2E into 3, 1, 2E into 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay? The thing at the bottom of the page, key signature, that's something for bells or the band members. Okay? So that doesn't apply to us is on drums. Moving on, 413, page 28B. A little bit of visual clutter here. You got bass drum and cymbals. It's a 3-row line. You can skip and skip. So let's say it. It starts on 4. Got a pickup note, maestoso. Okay? So this is one of those tempo / style markings. All right? That we talked about. So maestoso tells you what it means, majestically. You're not going to have you can't play majestically fast. All right? Think majestic, think of mountains and, Purple Mountain Majesties, right? So maestoso implies slow. So it does become a tempo marking, but it implies a style as well. Now, how do you play majestically on drums? Well, I'm not quite sure what the answer to that is. But if you're playing a wind instrument or bells or something, that becomes a different matter. But no matter what, we are going to go slower on this. So down, up, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4, repeat, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and a 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and a 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. All right, so some other things in that. We had some flam taps, we had an internal repeat. All right, here we go. Ready, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. Oh, I blew that. Here we go. I put my, just forget it. Starting over. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 and I did it again. I looked at the second line and played the first line. So I'm starting on the second line. Ready? 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. Well, I just really did not play that line well. I trust you can do it better. And I didn't play it very maestoso either. Let's go on to 414, please. 414, march tempo. Okay, so march tempo, you think of maybe the Stars and Stripes Forever, our national march, dee, dun, 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 which also has to be our fight song, our school song. Jump, bum, bum, bum. No, it's the fight song. Dun, bum, 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 bum. There's a march tempo. So I'll give you 2 or 1, 2 plus 1. 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2, 1 and a 2 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2, 1 and a 2 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2, 1 and a 2 and a 2 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 1. I would not try to play this until I could say it. Notice we have the first and second endings and the internal repeat. Okay, if you struggle with it, do it moderato first, and then go faster on the march tempo, right? So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2, 1 and a 2 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and repeat. 1 and a 2 and a 2 and 1 let's see. Yep, that'll do it for this lesson. Get us something new on the next one. Have a great day.